All right, everyone, welcome to the call. I was adjusting my Zoom setting. Hopefully, I have removed the waiting room so that everyone can come in. But welcome to the call. Welcome to the call. This is Forex for beginners. And what we're looking at now is our wonderful Epic website. So, welcome to Epic if you are new to our team. I like to start every meeting just taking just a couple of minutes to go over all the benefits and all the features that we have here at Epic. The company has only launched in the last couple of weeks, and it's been really exciting with everyone joining. And I don't know what I'm more excited about. Having access to our 6 and 7 and 8-figure training traders, and the information that's in the lives so far has been just phenomenal. One second, I think someone is having trouble getting in. So 1 second while I share the new link. All right, got them sorted out. All right, so let's take a look at our site and see what all the features are that Epic is offering. So I'm really excited about the leadership. I won't go into that now, but go to epictrading.com, especially if you're new. Take a look at the leadership and who is on the corporate staff. We have an amazing group of leaders who will make sure that our back office is functional. There are corporate calls, opportunity calls that the corporate office does for us so that we can focus on our training. So definitely take a look at the leadership and the vision. Let's go under the programs. So Epic University. Now this is launching on October 1st. So all of the traders that Coach Max has assembled, we have the university is going to be divided into beginner level, intermediate level, and also advanced level. So if you've been on the lives and you've seen the schedule, you'll notice that it will specify if the training is for our beginners, for our intermediate, or for our advanced. So that's a wonderful addition to this back office that I've never been exposed to before. So if you're a beginner, you'll want to focus in on the beginner sessions. You'll have that live trading session schedule that's posted on Sundays, so you can kind of map out your week. But I will go to the back office because I want to show you guys just to make sure you know exactly where to find the live classes. Let me make sure everyone is muted. All right, so here in my back office, let me make sure that you can see that. Let me share that screen. New share. So I want to give you a quick view of the back office so that you can know where to find the live classes. which is also the same spot that you can find the recorded classes. So there is a 7 a.m. New York session. There is a 9 p.m. Asian session, and this is Eastern. And then there's a 2 a.m. Eastern London session. So yeah, let me do this screen share again. Stop share. Let's do that again. Okay, great. So here is Elise. She's an advanced trader for the advanced sessions, and she's definitely one of my favorites. I try to catch her class. She normally does the London session, so I will definitely watch that in the recorded area. So here, under live trading session, if based on the schedule, so if I wanted to go see Elise's class from the 2 a.m. last night, then I would go under 2 a.m. And then notice how it says 1 of 10. So I can watch this one. I can scroll forward to maybe see the previous night's 2 a.m. classes. So they are all stored here. Now, I do want to clear up. You want to make sure if you are attending a live session, you'll know it's the right one because you'll see a red live here in the upper right corner, because this chat window will be active. So sometimes it's not crystal clear if you're watching the recording or if you're watching the live. So you'll know it's live because of the red live button that will show up here in the upper right corner of the screen. All right. So let's jump into our beginner Forex class. So last week we talked about how to set up your demo account and how to enter a trade in MT4. Now, if you go to your chat, I posted that recording on my YouTube page. And in just a second, I will make sure that that YouTube link is in the chat so that everyone can see that. And so all of these classes are recorded, the full hour. And lots of times I will create shorter 2 to 3 minute videos and post those on the site as well. But if you want to get step-by-step instructions with screenshots for one particular broker, there are a wide variety to choose from. I chose Hugo's Way for last week's demonstration. And after talking with Damo, I think what we'll do is mix it up. And so we'll throw in some other brokers as well, because one thing about brokers, it definitely depends on your region in terms of if that broker is accepting new applicants from that country. So we're going to mix it up so that if you can't choose, if you're not allowed to use Hugo's Way based on your location, you'll have some other examples and other good options to choose from. So look forward to that for next week. But if you want to watch the recording from last week, I've posted the link to my YouTube there in the chat, and that will walk you through the process. So today, what we want to focus on is how to sign up for TradingView. So give me a second and I will share a new set of slides. So sometimes it's a little confusing knowing the difference between TradingView and MT4. So MT4, which stands for MetaTrader 4, this is, let me make sure I admit everyone from the waiting room. Next week, I'll make sure that that option is turned off. All right, welcome everyone from the waiting room. I apologize for that. I'll make sure that that setting is turned off for next week. Okay, so today we are going to cover TradingView. So I just wanted to clarify, MT4 or MetaTrader 4, this is the app where we actually take our trades. So TradingView is totally separate, and we're going to use it for our analysis when you're ready for that next step. So MT4, normally I recommend for beginners to just trade on your phone. It's a lot of an easier setup than having MT4 set up on your computer. Now, when I first learned, I did learn on my computer. So, but now that I trade on my phone, it's so convenient. I can place a trade, I can run an errand, and I don't have to be without access to the trade. If I want to manage it, move my stop loss, take profit early, things of that nature. Those are the benefits of trading on your phone. So once I made that switch, it's rare that I open up MetaTrader 4 on my computer at all. What I do have open on my laptop all the time is TradingView. So we're going to go through the steps. It has a lot of cool features for marking up your charts, indicators when you're ready for that. But I'll step you through the process, start to finish, to show you how to set up your free account. You can be perfectly, you'll have everything you need with the free account. There are some good features that I choose for the paid account, but for the first year or so that I used TradingView, the free account was fine. So let's walk through these steps. And then after we go over the steps for signing up, I'll bring up TradingView live and show you how to get started. There are only just a couple of tools that you need to know how to use, and hopefully everyone can, who has not set up TradingView yet, that'll be your homework before next week's class. And what we'll do, I think we'll alternate. So because we're going to spend most of our time in TradingView this week, next week we'll go back into MT4, talk about managing your trade and some next steps with MT4. So that's kind of like our plan. So I'll talk about TradingView. We'll spend the next 15 minutes or so going over that. That will put us at 6:30. And for the last half hour of the class, we'll open it up, have Q&A, and you can ask what you want, and I will do my best to answer. And I will also try to look at the chat as well. All right, so tradingview.com. So I'm going to walk you through how to set this up. TradingView does have an app. It's a bit small on your phone, but I have plenty of team members who are happy with the size. It can even do marking up their charts even on their phone. I recommend the computer just because I like the bigger view. Okay, so tradingview.com. And you're going to click on sign in. So even if you don't have an account yet, this is the place to start. Click on sign in. Okay, so on the screen on the left, if you already have your sign in, your login, then you can go ahead and proceed. But if it's your first time there, you're going to click on sign up. So this option here on the right. And then you're going to click on email or username. Okay, so once you do that, you're going to pick a username, and it's totally up to you what you choose. You may want to use your Epic username, so just so that you keep that the same, but it's perfectly up to you what you choose. Then you want to put in your email address. Make sure it's an email that you can access, because there's going to be a confirmations step that will be emailed to you. Create your password. Click on the check boxes to make sure that you agree with the terms and conditions. Click on I'm not a robot, and then sign up. So once you have completed those fields here on the left, then you will get this message. Your account is not active yet. Please verify your email. So that's why it was important to choose an email that you have access to. Okay. So here, please confirm your email address by clicking the button below. This is so you can unlock access to your new TradingView account. So Once you receive that email and you click on Activate Account, then this is the next screen that you'll see. You're almost there. So type in your name, first and last, and then click on Continue. Add a photo if you like. I don't think I've done that step. And now you're back at the main TradingView site. So to get to the part that you'll access day in and day out, you'll need to click on Chart. So that's in this upper banner towards your right. Click on Chart. Now you're in, and this is the main screen where you will do all of your analysis. So at this point, I'm going to go to a live TradingView account, and there's a lot here, but I'm going to show you just 2 or 3 tools that you'll need to know that you'll use over and over and over again. Okay, so 1 second and I will pull up my TradingView. Okay, so now we're looking at my live TradingView. And the first thing I'm going to show you is you can customize the way that your candles look. So typically what you'll see, I'm going to right click and go to Settings. Typically you'll see a red candle here for the body and the wick of the candle. That's going to signify price moving down. And typically you'll see green for up. So this is what you'll typically see on the live sessions, but just know that you have the ability to customize your TradingView so that your candle colors can be set to whatever you agree to. So the first one, a red candle, means it's going to start, price is going to start here and work its way down. A green candle, or whatever color you choose for to show that price is increasing, it's going to start at the bottom and work its way up. So a few key terms that I'll type out here because you'll hear those over and over in the live sessions. So when you hear that price is bearish, that means that price is going down. And when you hear that price is bullish, or that the candles are bullish, that means that price is going up. So first things first, if you have a bear market, then you have a market that is trending down. If you have a bull market, you have an uptrend, or price is moving up. So don't let those Forex vocabulary words sort of throw you off. Forex is like learning a new language. So it's why we do these classes on a weekly basis. It's to sort of get you ready. Imagine, I'm a big baseball fan. I've watched the Atlanta Braves. I'm here in Atlanta my entire life. So our goal with these beginner Forex classes is to get your equipment ready. We're going to give you your baseball helmet, we're going to get you a bat, we're going to get you a ball, we're going to make sure you have on the uniform so that you look like a baseball player. Okay, so the academy and the live sessions are going to teach you how to play the game. So the purpose of this class is to get you ready and all suited up. So bearish market, price is going down. Bullish market, price is going up, and the candles reflect that. If we want to take a look at our price, that is what, and I'll use an arrow to show you where I'm looking. So this column here, all of these numbers are the prices. Okay, so this is our price column that will be increasing from the bottom up. Now, here's the fun part. Let's say that you wanted to look at the pair AUD-USD. AUD stands for Australia. the Australian dollar, and then USD, of course, is the United States dollar. So you can use this field here in the upper left corner, and you can type in the pair that you want to search for. So I'm going to search for AUD USD. Okay, and at this point, it doesn't matter which one you pick. Now that's how you change your pair. So if you change your mind and you want to go back to another pair, AUD is a great beginner pair, by the way. You can go here and just type in EUR USD, and that's how you can change your pairs. Now here's a great tip. Let's say that, as Coach Max suggests, you have 3 pairs that you want to just choose between. Rather than having to type them in here each time, you can add your pairs that you want to look at to your watch list. So this area over here, these are all the pairs or indices that I watch in my personal trading. So of course your list as a beginner is going to be, pretty small, but you can click this plus for add symbol, pick the symbol there, and then that's how you can build your list of pairs. And look how easy it is to switch between. You can go from one to the other once you add it over here in your watch list. Okay, let me get away from that fancy stuff. Let's keep it kind of basic. All right, so we're looking at Euro USD. The other thing that you want to focus on next, once you have your pair selected, you want to choose the time frame. So I'm going to click on this column and show you all the different time frames that you have to choose from. Now, don't be intimidated by all these different options. They're really just a few that we commonly use as traders. So there's the 4-hour time frame, the 1-hour time frame, and then maybe the 15-minute. So let me write that in our text of notes. Common time frames. 4H stands for 4-hour. There's the 1-hour is probably the most common one. There's the 15-minute. And I'll add also D for daily. So these are our common time frames. So if you just wanted to pick one to do your analysis, then the 1-hour is typically what you'll see the live traders spending most of their time on. The 15-minute is where we go when we're ready to find that perfect or that sniper entry that you'll hear the traders talk about. But lots of times you'll start on a higher time frame, such as the 1-hour, just to see what the overall trend is. So if you want to, for homework, once you get your TradingView account set up, then pick a pair, Euro USD or Australia USD. And also know this too, I'm just thinking of things that you may be confused on when you start going to your first live classes. There are several ways to call out or identify a foreign exchange pair. So when we say Euro USD, you can also call that EU. So you can take the first letter of the first currency pair, the European euro, and just call that with an E. And then you can take the U from the USD and call that EU. So Euro USD equals EU. Likewise, for AUD USD, you may hear that referred to as AU for short. One of my favorite pairs as a beginner was USD JPY, and that has the nickname of UJ. Okay, so that's just sort of some trading lingo that you'll hear also in the live sessions. So you come into TradingView, you type in your pair here on the left, you choose your time frame, more than likely the 1 hour, and you just want to take a look around. So some of the first questions that you can ask yourself is, what trend am I in? Is price increasing? Am I in a bullish market? Is price decreasing? Am I in a bearish market? Or is price just kind of going sideways? And we call that consolidation. So I'll just make some notes here. 3 main ways that price moves. So price moves up, down, sideways. So for an up market, we're bullish. A down market, we're bearish. And sideways, let me just add in what that's known as. You'll hear the term consolidation. And all that means is, let me find some examples of both. So if I take this arrow, you can see that from this point to the current price, put it in the chat for me. What would you say? Is price going up, down, or sideways? If you had to guess what this trend is, starting where the arrow is. Can you type it in the chat? What kind of market do you think we're in? Yes, would you say price is up, down, or sideways? Who has a guess? Type it in the chat for me. Yes, up is correct. All right, great. Got some participation there. All right, so now what I'm going to do is scroll back in time, and let's take it again. Let me move my arrow. So from the arrow at this point, how is price moving? And let me add another arrow. So from the left arrow to the right arrow, what trend are we in here? So from this point on down, are we still bullish, or did our trend change? Yeah, and I got a couple responses there. Let me make it easier. What about from this point? Yes, from this left blue arrow coming down, it's bearish. So you can imagine what the next question is. If we look from here, and then I'm going to take this arrow and move it there. That's a short amount of time, but how are we moving there? So only one answer left. That's right, we're going sideways, we're in consolidation. All right, so if nothing else, that's quite an accomplishment, to be able to open up your free TradingView account, type in your pair, choose your time frame. We'll just say that 1 hour is the default, and then just start moving the chart around, going left to right. You can use your arrows here and ask yourself the question, what trend am I in? So here we were sideways in consolidation, then we moved straight into a downtrend, and then we went into an uptrend. So that's a great place to start in terms of your first few tasks, first few things that you want to do here in TradingView. Now, sometimes TradingView can be a little tricky. There are some zoom out and zoom in options. So if I press the plus, then I can really take a closer look. And, Coach Max, if you don't know already, she loves for us to know our candlestick Bible. So if you want to use this plus button, you can really zoom in and get a really close in view of the candlesticks. However, when you do that, you can't really see the overall trend. You can't see the big picture. Okay, so if you zoom out, if you use the minus button, I'm just going to keep pressing it. I'm zooming further and further out. Now I can see what EU has been doing over a wider range of time. So you can see now that I have this zoomed out view, you can see it's been in a huge uptrend, and then it kind of leveled out, you know, kind of in consolidations. It's going up, it's going down, kind of staying in the same sort of area. So definitely take advantage of your zoom in and your zoom out buttons. Now, if your chart starts to look a little crazy, as you start to use the tools, right click, reset chart. It always brings you back to square one because sometimes using the tools can be a little tricky. And that's why I've saved that for last. So just a couple more minutes to show you a few more tools that you can use, and then we'll go into our Q&A. So one of the main reasons that we pull up a pair in TradingView is we want to identify our support and our resistance. So, you know, starting October 1st, the back office is going to explain that in lots of detail. So I'm just going to give you a sneak peek. But basically, your support and your resistance, or another way to think of it is your zones. There are areas where price tends to visit often. So there are places that places where price likes to hang out. So, and this is why it's really good to use that that zoom out view, because it helps you to identify your zones easier. So now that I have this zoomed out view, it's much easier for me to see. Watch this. I'm going to click on the trend line tools, coming down to horizontal line. And I notice that price seems to like this area. Notice how many touches I had of this trend line. Price touched it there. Price just about touched it there. Price touched it there. Price touched it there. Price touched it there. So your support and your resistance lines, or your zones, which is another way to think of it, there are places that price just really likes to come back to and hang out at. That's an easy way to think of your support and resistance. So if I wanted to choose another area, trend line tools, horizontal line, I think I would pick this area here. And then I'll take these arrows and show all the times where price touched it. Price touched the zone there, and there, and there, and there, and there as well. So that lets me know that this is pretty much going to be my support and resistance. And just a few more quick notes and we'll wrap it up. So let's write it down. Support, you can think of as the floor. Like, where does price rest? Where does price rest its feet? And then resistance, you can think of the ceiling. Where can price just kind of not break above? So you can notice that here, what I'll do, let's color code. So support, we're going to leave purple. So right click settings. This goes for any tool that you use, the line, the arrow, you can easily change your color. So I'm gonna click on it, right click it, go to settings, make it purple, and click OK. Click on it, right click, go to settings, make it purple. 2 more times. Click on it, right click, and go to settings, make it purple. click on it, right click, go to settings, make it purple. And then for our resistance, let's keep that blue. So let's see if it'll let me change the color of just those words. Yeah, it's going to be all or nothing, but you get the point. So the blue arrows would represent, I know how we can do it. Let's leave support. So we're going to leave our resistance in blue, and that's our ceiling. And then I'm going to use another text box, put it below it, so then we can have our support in purple. And this is our floor. So think about it, you know, forgot to change my color here. Let's make it purple. All right, so think about the floor is what your feet are standing on. So here, these are where these candles are resting. That's why that's support. And then resistance, think about reaching your hands up and not being able to reach through the ceiling. And that's where these candles are reaching their hands up and they just can't seem to break through. So that's why we're gonna label that as resistance. All right, well, I think that's enough for today in terms of teaching. So we showed you how to come into TradingView and set up your account. And we showed that with some PowerPoint slides with screenshots. And then once you're in TradingView, you're going to enter your pair here to the left. You're going to choose your time frame, probably the 1 hour. For convenience, you can add the pairs that you will choose. Coach Max recommends picking 3 to start out with. So you can click this plus button and add them to your watch list. And then you can easily switch between your pairs, okay? All right, everyone. So let's go into Q&A. It's about 6:38. So unmute yourself and what questions do you have? I see a question in the chat about resistance. So resistance, imagine putting your hands up on the ceiling and not being able to break through. So those are going to be those higher levels where price can't seem to get higher than that point. So that's what resistance is. Okay, who has a question? Was someone speaking? Let's see who unmuted themselves. So if you have a question, go ahead and take yourself off mute and ask away. You can put it in the chart as well.
Hello?
Yes, hi. Can you hear me?
Just wondering, what would be the best time to trade?
Yeah, well, that's a really good question. So I'll tell you, when I first started, the time that I had available was in the evenings after work. So for me, Asian session, which starts about 7 p.m. Eastern and goes until about 2 into London, about 2 a.m. Eastern. So for me, that's the Asian session. So I needed to pick some pairs that moved the most during the Asian session. So JPY, obviously because it's in Asia, is going to move the most in Asian session. So I started out with USD JPY, or you could also do AUD JPY if Asian session is the session that you have the most time to trade. There are times that I can trade a lot during New York. So if the New York session is the time that you have available to watch the charts, then you want to pick a pair that has USD in it, because your USD pairs are going to move the most during New York session, which is about 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern. Now, also depending on where you are in the world, if you're If London session is the best time for you, then your Euro pairs, the EUR pairs, are the best ones to choose. So you could do Euro JPY, and any of the Euro pairs would move great. Now, GBP, the GBP pairs would also move well in London, although they may not be considered beginner friendly. So maybe the EU pairs would be a better choice. So did that give you some guidance there?
Yes, it did. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Who's next? Who else has a question? And it can be about MetaTrader 4. It doesn't have to be about TradingView. Whatever is on your mind. Let me ask this question. Go into the chat and let me know if you have not set up your TradingView account yet. Yes. So put a 6 in the chat if you have not set up your TradingView yet, and hopefully this number will go down next week.
Hello.
Hi, I can hear you.
Please, can you check the chat? I post my question on the chat.
Oh, best pairs and time to trade in Nigeria. Oh, that's a great question. What time is it in Nigeria right now?
11:44 p.m.
Oh, okay. So you guys are about 5 hours ahead. So which session is best fits your schedule for trading? Like, when do you have maybe an hour or two to dedicate to the charts, if you have that much time on a daily basis? Which session would work best for you?
At the early hours.
So your time would be the early hours in the morning?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm thinking that that's the New York session.
Okay.
Yeah, and so in the New York session, then that would be depends on how early. So 8 a.m. here is already going to be 1 or 2 o'clock your time. So actually, maybe you could do a little bit of London and roll into the New York session as well. So the most activity in terms of trading happens in London and the New York sessions.
What's
So
going on?
People would say that those are, and I'll ask you to unmute yourself. Let me mute everyone out. Yeah, so most of the action, so to speak, or the volatility happens in the London session and the New York session. So you being in Nigeria, you could catch like the tail end of the London session and do maybe the beginning part of New York, and that would be great.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So which pairs are the New York and London pairs?
Yeah, so for London, you probably an EU pair. So an EUR USD would be great, or an EUR JPY, anything that has the euro in it. And then as you move into New York, you probably want to pick a pair with a USD. So you could do a USD JPY or an AUD USD. So euro pairs for London and USD pairs for New York.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. What other questions do you all have?
Hello, Tasha.
Hey.
Hello. Please, I want to find out what does price action and market structure means?
Oh, great question. Great question. Price action, I think, is a very fancy term. Do you know what it really means? What are the candles doing at the present moment? That's what it's a fancy way of saying, let me look at these candles and see if the candles are indicating bullish movement or bearish movement. It just means, what are the candles telling me? Because I'm going to zoom in on my screen. So let's talk about price action. So we didn't talk about this part, but this, let me use the circle tool. So I'm going to go to my shapes, ellipse, and I'm going to highlight this one candle here. So this rectangular part is called the body. That's called the body of the candle. And let me zoom in so you can see it. But the skinny line coming out the bottom, that's called the wick. So let me pull up my text. So a candle is made up of the body plus the wick. So price action, which is just a fancy way of saying, what is this candle trying to tell me about price? This candle, what it's saying is that I may not want to stay here at the bottom. This wick sort of means rejection. Okay, so price is rejecting this bottom movement. It goes there, but it doesn't stay there. It kind of pulls back. So price action says this candle is, because it has so much wick, it's really telling me that it doesn't really want to stay at the bottom too long. And then I look at the next candle. This candle is called a doji, which means indecision. Price doesn't really want to go up. It doesn't really want to go down. It's just not really sure. And a lot of times this doji candle is used for a reversal. And guess what happens next? Price reverses. So here you see these green candles. You had a lot of, I think I labeled these the wrong color. Yeah, price was coming down here, and then price was starting to move up. So price action means, what is the candle telling me? And in this case, I have a nice reversal. So now that I've caught that, let me change my colors here. All right, that makes a lot more sense. So yeah, that's what price action is. Now your other question, which is a really good one, market structure. Market structure is, it encompasses support and resistance, which we just talked about. And it really talks about, it's an overall picture of where price has traveled from and where price is traveling to. So let me zoom out. And really, to understand market structure, you really have to have a lot more zones marked on your chart. So I can click on that line. I have a PC, so I'm going to do Control C and Control V to copy it. And now I can move it down, and I'm going to identify a few more zones. Maybe I'll place it there. Do Control V again. Control C, Control V, there we go. And maybe I want to identify this area here. And maybe I want to identify this area here. I'm looking for areas that price has already visited. And then I think I'll put one more support here, resistance here, there, and one more at the very top. So now that I have marked up my charts with multiple support and resistance, market structure is a description of kind of all the places that price has traveled from and where it's traveling to. And what you'll see is that price loves to go back and forth from zone to zone. So I'm going to, let me get rid of some of these arrows. And then I'll pick one and I'll show you how price travels. So price started here at the tip of this zone. And then it traveled down, it visited this zone. Then it dropped all the way down to this zone, kind of hung out for a while, revisited that zone, dropped down to this zone. And then when it took off, where did it take off to? Just about to the zone that it had already been to before. So this is market structure. And the reason that we mark up our charts with support and resistance is it gives us a great prediction of where price may go next. Because price feels more secure, the zones are just its happy place. So yes, it hangs out in between the zones a little bit, but for the most part, your zones give you your take profits. Because just think if you were in a buy, let's say we got in a buy here. What would we set as our take profit? Well, we would look to our left and notice that price loves this area here. So I would set this zone as my TP. So that's another advantage of marking up your chart with support and resistance. It lets you know where to set your TPs because price loves to go where it's already been before in the past. Okay, so that's a little bit about what market structure is. It's a big old term, but it's just a really good depiction of where price has been and where price might go. You'll hear the term look left a lot. Okay, so I imagine you can see now the current price. Oh, here's one thing I didn't tell you about TradingView. Right now, let me use this arrow. Price is, here's our current price. And TradingView will show you that. So if you can see now that price is going down, where might price land? A good TP could be down here at the zone. So what other questions do you have? We have a few minutes left.
Hello.
Hi there.
Good evening. What are some of the events that can happen to cause price to go up and price to go down?
Oh, that's a great question. And here's one thing that I'll highlight. It's not the only reason, but news events. News events happening around the world. And on my website, I think I have a playlist called News Events. There are a couple of places that you can go. Forexfactory.com is one, as well as my FX book. And I actually have some videos on my YouTube site that show you how to find the we call it red folder news. So once you begin to, even now, when you're taking practice trades in your demo, make it a point to check out those sites so that you can know if there's a red folder event happening. Let's say tomorrow morning, I'm trading in the New York session, and I know that USD has a red folder news at 10 o'clock, then I may delay my trading until after that news event has passed, because a news event can cause a huge spike, a huge wick in the market, either up or down. And it's hard to predict which way it's going to go because it really depends on the news. Okay, so all currency pairs all over the world have news events. And so those two sites, Forex Factory and my FX book, can give you a window of the scheduled events so that you can kind of trade around those times. Here in the US, when our Fed chair speaks, that's a red folder news, and depending on what announcement he makes, that can drive the US dollar up or down. So any pair that you're trading with the USD would be affected by that. So you would have to kind of stay out of the market. It can make it unstable for sure, or spike in one direction. As well as when our president gives out a tweet, that may or may not be scheduled. that can change the market. There's nothing you can do about things like that. I tend to focus on technical analysis and market structure, as someone mentioned before. I like to know where my zones are, where does price like to go and come. But news events, you can't really plan for that because the market will do what it does, and eventually it will fall back into its technical routine, but the news can definitely shake things up. So great question. All right, guys, we got a couple more minutes. Any last minute questions before we go? Yes.
What's the best leverage for a $5 to $20 account?
It depends on.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm thinking it depends. So let's say if I have $100 account, then the higher my leverage, I like to use 500, then the more of that $100 I can use. So if I have $100 account, but I only have a $1 to $100 leverage, I may be only able to do 1 or 2 trades because all of my $100 is not freed up for me to take trades. So to answer your question, the smaller amount that you have, you definitely want a higher leverage so that you can at least have access to the full amount in your account. So I know with Hugo's Way, you can get a 1 to 500. So does that answer your question?
For a $5 account, I can use a leverage of 1:100.
1 to 500, which is it's pretty much the highest that you can get with most brokers, most of the commonly used brokers. So if you only have a 1 to 100 or a 1 to 200, then even with the amount that you're trading with, you're probably not going to have full access to it. So basically, the higher your leverage, the more of your money you can use to trade with. So you want to go as high as you can for that $5 to $20 account.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Good evening.
Hi.
Yes, hi. When will this the link for this session be posted, and where?
Sure.
I missed it.
Oh, no worries. I'm going to post my YouTube channel here in the chat, and I'll get it posted by in the morning. It could be late tonight, but it may be first thing in the morning at the latest.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I think I see another question in the chat. What's the largest a standard lot can get? So let me just leave you guys with some exciting information. So let's say that I'm in a trade and I get 10 pips. Okay, so 10 pips at 0.01 lot size, 0.01. That's going to equal $1 profit. Now, technically, the spread is in there. So we'll save the spread for next week's class, but this is just a rough estimate. So that same 10 pips at 0.1, which is your lot size. This is what we're talking about. Your lot size, let me add that in. So 0.01 lot size, which is the smallest amount, that's $1 profit. 10 pips trade at 0.1 lot size, that's going to equal roughly $10 in profit. And if I win 10 pips on my trade and I'm using a standard lot, which is 1.0, then that's going to yield me $100 in profit. Now, here's my disclaimer, spread is not included. That's a different topic, which basically the broker gets paid for every time you take a trade. And so the broker charges you to trade every pair. So technically it's going to be a little bit less than $1. It's going to be a bit less than $10. It's going to be a bit less than $100. But just to drive the point home, my point is that your lot size determines the profit that you make. Now, to answer the person's question in the chat, if I did 10 pips at 2.0, because you can keep going, then that's actually $200 profit. So you can multiply the number of lot sizes that you use. But the rule of thumb, and I covered this with the video on that we covered last week in terms of setting up your demo account. Let me add this first, and then I'll do another one. The rule of thumb in terms of what leverage that you use, you want to use 0.01 for every $100 in your trading account. So if you have $100 in your account, you would use 0.01 for your trades. If you have $500 in your account, you can use 0.05, and so forth and so on. $1,000, you can use 0.1. So looking at these lot sizes, you can see the tendency for traders to over leverage. There's sometimes a tendency in our industry to want to double your account, with just a few trades, and that leads to actually blowing your account. So you want to start off slow, learn how to gain a certain percentage with your trades. And Ryan DeFreitas has so much knowledge in this area about growing accounts. He knows lots and lots and lots about growing accounts. He's done it several different times, lots of times. He has lots of experience. So I can't wait to see his education in the academy when it launches in October. So hopefully that answered the question in the chat. What is the best time frame to trade with as a beginner? That's a really good question. Basically, if you want to scalp means that you're going to be in and out of the market within a few minutes. Your 5-minute chart and your 15-minute chart are the best places to do scalps. If you plan to be in a trade for a few hours, that's called intraday trading. So maybe the 1 hour time frame is good to start there. If you're going to swing trade, maybe be in a trade a couple of days. Maybe you don't have a lot of time to spend on the charts. Maybe you just want to concentrate for a small amount of time, find a setup, and just let that trade run. Then the 4 hour and daily would be the best place for you, because it's going to take that trade a longer amount of time to work its way out. But you can check on it, a couple of times a day, and you won't have to babysit that trade as much. So hopefully that answers your question. All right, everyone. Well, it is 7:05, so we're going to wrap it up. I will get this call recorded and placed on the YouTube channel. So for next Tuesday's class, definitely those of you who have not, go ahead and open up your TradingView account and kind of play around. We will probably go back to MetaTrader 4 and talk about some trade management tips and tricks for how to take profit and do multiple trades and things like that. All right, everyone, have a great evening and happy trading.